PHS has hidden gems to discover every day, one being the school's student-run podcast. Led by a few of your fellow Eagles, History Forgotten discusses various topics that may have not been mentioned in your history classes. Find out more later in the show. Another way students are making an impact is through the Welcoming Committee. This group mentors students new to Prosper to help them feel safe and welcomed into our Eagle family. The Fashion Design 2 class hosted its fashion show, Ends of the Earth, last night. You can see the final products that these students created, but Emily Baldwin went behind the scenes to discuss the preparations for its success.
Live from Studio 301 at Prosper High School, this is Eagle Nation News.
Good morning, Eagle Nation, and thank you for joining us. Today is Friday, April 23rd. I'm Mithra Kama.
And from 6 feet away, I'm Allison Wood.
On Monday of this week, Prosper ISD made the announcement that as a result of the, quote, increasing availability of the coronavirus vaccine and the flexibility provided by Executive Order GA34, Prosper ISD plans to establish masks as optional in the fall of 2021 at all PISD campuses. While the coronavirus cases have largely lowered, as of now, masks are still mandatory for students within school buildings for the remainder of this school year.
On Tuesday night, police body cam footage was released for the shooting of 16-year-old Nakia Bryant at her Ohio residence. Columbus police responded to 2 separate calls made from a caller not yet identified. When the police arrived on scene, they found Bryant armed with a knife, told her to get down, and shot her fatally 4 times.
Identified by Pfizer in Mexico and Poland, counterfeit COVID-19 vaccines have been surfacing with a cosmetic product within the vaccine vials. International and local authorities are said to be working on this issue as Pfizer continues to warn the public not to trust online vendors selling the vaccine and to only receive vaccinations from official vaccination centers.
The PHS annual fashion show was held last night in the Children's Health Stadium Community Room. Emily Baldwin spoke with the student designers who organized the event.
Last night, students who sit next to you every day strutted down the runway wearing the clothes designed by the fashionistas of Prosper High School.
I think we all took pieces of movies and aesthetic boards and pieced it together to make what each of us wanted while still following the theme. And then after we had chosen the colors, we all sketched out things, and then we took a trip to Joann's and looked at fabric and patterns, and then changed our sketches to fit more of those that we found. After that, we started finding models, and then we started fitting them to each of our sketches and made sure everything was fine.
Each one-of-a-kind piece took on an earthy aesthetic as the show took place on Earth Day.
We all made Pinterest boards, and when we looked at them as a class, the colors that we had, they had earth tones and neutral colors, so that's what we went with.
While these apparel staples were eye-catching by the time they hit the runway, creating these pieces was no simple task.
We started in January. We only had 11 weeks to work on it. And we each did 4 outfits. Some of us made 3 from scratch and made the other one out of different things. Some of us did all 4 from scratch.
While some students are taking this course solely for high school credit, others are intentionally using this experience to apply it at the next level, college.
4 out of the 6 of us are planning to go into fashion for college. I personally am going into fashion for college.
Reporting for Eagle Nation News, I'm Emily Baldwin.
Popular fields of interest for PHS students include football, baseball, soccer, and lacrosse fields. Julia Beezein is in studio to fill us in on the world of sports with today's Game Time update.
Thanks, Mithra. To start off with some big news, many of our Eagle wrestlers are heading to state. After taking to the mat in the UIL Region 2 6A tournament, senior LJ Richardson and junior Taylor Martinez each took home the championship title, earning them spots in the state tournament. Senior Chase Parham and sophomore Joseph Richardson also qualified for state with their 3rd place finishes. Rounding out successful finishes for the Eagles were sophomore Mason Gordon, who captured 5th, and sophomore Ashley Vogelpaul, junior Catherine Hall, and senior Austin Gordon, who all notched 6th place finishes. Congratulations to these wrestlers on all of their achievements, and we wish them the best at state. Walking alongside our wrestlers in the send-off this morning was the Prosper High School archery team, who will compete in its national virtual tournament tomorrow. Best of luck to these PHS Sharp students. Moving outdoors, 4 PHS track and field athletes advanced to regionals from last week's 5-6A area meet. Junior Jackson Lawns earned his trip to regionals after placing 4th in the 200-meter dash with a time of just over 22 seconds. On the girls' side, junior Aubrey O'Connell qualified for regionals in 3 different events, capturing 1st place in the 800 with a time of 2 minutes 8 seconds, the fastest time in Texas and the 4th fastest in the nation this season. She also placed 2nd in the 1600 with a time of 4 minutes 52 seconds and in the 3200 with a time of 10 minutes 38 seconds. Joining O'Connell on the ride to regionals are sophomore Kate Beltrowski, who placed 2nd in pole vault with a vault of 11 feet 6 inches, and sophomore Kayla Watson, who notched 3rd in long jump with a jump of 17 feet and 9 inches. Congratulations to all of our track and field athletes, and we wish the best of luck to Johnson, O'Connell, Beltrowski, and Wilson at regionals. Moving over to the Diamond, the boys baseball team lost to Allen 4-3 this week, while the girls softball team defeated Allen 3-2 and will face the Eagles again tonight at home for their final home game to determine the district champion. Both baseball and softball are advancing to playoffs. Speaking of advancing, our Prosper girls lacrosse team is still undefeated this season as it continues its historic playoff run.
This week, the Prosper girls lacrosse team made history as it defeated Southlake 18-6 in its first ever playoff game. These ladies have undergone rigorous training throughout the season to prepare for this moment.
Our mindset is just to play better than we did last game. We mostly look at film and look at our mistakes and try to improve them. And we just run over plays, we run over our defense, we get some goalies and we shoot on them. And we just pretty much run like we would run in the game.
The Lady Eagles were quite confident in their abilities going into the game.
So we were kind of confident just knowing that we were kind of ranked number 1, but we didn't let the rankings affect us. We didn't really look at them, we didn't care. We just kind of continued to play like we know we could play. And so ever since then, we've been in the mindset of play harder, go home.
Despite this confidence, the team was overcome with many struggles.
This season, it was kind of rough with everything. There was some changes in coaches, changes in teams and everything. There's been some ups and downs in this team, but nothing that we couldn't conquer.
But all of the previous months of practice have paid off.
It was very shocking because this is our first year in D2. Last year we were D3 since my freshman year. So going into first time D2, undefeated, first time in playoffs is a big shock, and I'm very grateful that we have this team to hopefully make it to state.
Prosper 18, Southlake 6. The Prosper Lacrosse Club has advanced to the next round of the playoffs.
Make sure to show up and show out to support these ladies as they take on Keller in Coppell at 12 p.m. tomorrow. If they win, they play the regional championship game at 1 p.m. at Children's Health Stadium. When we return, Zach Manning takes a look at how new students at PHS are becoming assimilated with current students.
It's important for students who are new to the district to feel welcomed and safe in their new environment. Zach Manning goes into further detail on how one student formed a committee to ensure that no new Eagle feels left out.
The ProsperWelcoming Committee is a new addition to PHS and works to help new students get to know the campus alongside their peers. One PHS student recognized that new students can often experience isolation that can be when they arrive after the beginning of the school year.
The biggest thing for us is that we want to make sure that as the fastest growing district in the state of Texas, we want to make sure that our students feel welcome. They feel like this is their home.
In order to resolve this issue, administrators and students formed the Welcoming Committee, which includes former new students as well as students who have demonstrated qualities such as friendliness and strength in social situations.
We've gotten students who have been new students here at PHS, students who have been longtime students here in Prosper ISD, and joined forces to create these student ambassadors and have these students feel like they have a home on day one.
The committee has already worked to make many new students feel at ease through the process of moving schools as they are being surrounded by people who have experienced the same situation and are able to walk alongside them through such a transition.
As someone who joined the year in the middle and was a new student myself, I think it's nice to be able to connect with other people who have gone through changing schools and just being introduced to a new environment.
The Welcoming Committee will meet once a semester and will have various follow-up meetings throughout the school year. Reporting for Eagle Nation News, I'm Zach Manning.
From movies to TV shows, Madeline Wentz has all the entertainment news you need on this week's edition of Talent Talk.
Michael Keaton and Beth Ben Affleck will return to play Batman in the upcoming Flash movie. The new film will take inspiration from the Flashpoint plotline in the original DC Comics, in which the hero runs so fast that he teleports to parallel realities. The Flash is set to hit theaters in late 2022. Moving from the big screen to your living room TV, the last episode of Marvel's The Falcon and the Winter Soldier is now airing on Disney+. The 6-episode series follows Bucky Barnes and Sam Wilson after Captain America's retirement as they navigate their friendship and fight to save the world yet again. Will you be watching the final episode? Let us know on our Twitter at Eagle Nation News. The Prosper UIL academic team successfully won the district championship that took place on March 26th and March 27th, demonstrating all the dedication they put in during the months leading up to the competition. Will Carlisle sat down with one teacher to examine what goes on behind the scenes as students prep for UIL tournaments.
On Friday, March 26th and Saturday, March 27th, the Prosper UIL academic teams competed at districts. Prosper won the district championship with 520 points. Overall, 26 students advanced to regionals in multiple events such as calculator apps, mathematics, and number sense, coached by Thomas Gomez.
It feels great. I mean, it was a little bit weird because of COVID. We didn't have necessarily a huge following of normal UIL students and interest. To see them advance was still good to see because they persevered throughout.
Students who commit to being in the UIL academic team have to spend a significant amount of time practicing in order to ensure they do well in competition.
Fortunately, because this year was different because of COVID, their practices were mostly geared at just after school and before school and on their own at home.
Congratulations to Prosper for their district win and multiple students for making it out of regionals and qualifying for state. I'm Will Carlisle reporting for Eagle Nation News.
After this short break, Grace Escobar has information on yet another student-led PHS activity.
As technology continues to develop, podcasts are becoming a more popular form of entertainment. Grace Escobar takes a look at the process of creating a podcast and how some PHS students utilize the growing media outlet.
The student-run podcast, History's Forgotten, was created at the beginning of the school year by junior Christy Norris and includes senior co-hosts Maddie Moats and Caroline Wilburn.
So the podcast is kind of my brainchild, I guess, is how Ms. Roskins describes it. I had the idea one day that I wanted to do a podcast because she had been encouraging us to branch out into different mediums, and I really love history. I'm a big nerd, and so I just decided that I should start a podcast, and then got some more people on board.
History's Forgotten addresses topics that aren't typically discussed in history classes, such as Ida Tarbell and Matthew Henson, and features historical details with the goal of finding subjects within history that are interesting to the students. When creating a podcast episode, the students first start by determining a topic and conducting research to gain more knowledge before recording. The students then put together a script that begins with the early life of their chosen subject, the individual's accomplishments, and notable details. They then record the podcast, sometimes more than once, to ensure it sounds professional. Finally, the students edit everything together before uploading the installment to Eagle Nation Online.
I get to learn more about history. I'm such a nerd and I love learning about history. And I have some awesome co-hosts, Maddie Moats and Caroline Wilburn, and it's really fun to just sit down and do something that's not necessarily hard, but it's something we put in the work to and we really enjoy.
You can listen to History's Forgotten on the website via computer or your phone. Reporting for Eagle Nation News, I'm Grace Escobar.
One of the many skilled students in Prosper High is Chandler Browning, a championship golfer. Sailor Jane is in studio with her in today's edition of The Perch.
Thanks, Mithra. I'm your host, Sailor Jane McKenzie, and joining with me today, I have Chandler Browning. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. So your district tournament was earlier in April, yes?
Yes.
So how did Prosper play, and more specifically, how did you play?
Prosper played really well. We actually placed second. And we were actually one of the underdogs in this tournament, so to place second it was really cool because it actually got us out to regionals. And individually I shot 73-77 and I won the tournament.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
So earlier this week, Monday and Tuesday, was regionals for the girls varsity golf team. How did Prosper play?
We played really well. We placed 6 out of, I think, 15 teams. This was just such a cool experience because we got to play against some really good competition and we got to have fun as a team.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
So where are you going to college?
UNT.
And will you be playing golf there?
I will.
So what are you hoping to get out of UNT's golf program?
I'm just really excited to compete with a team that is really good. They're ranked 32nd in the nation right now. So hopefully my time there, I can post some really good scores and help the team.
Well, thank you for joining me today, and congratulations on your district win, and we can't wait to hear about all the great things that you do at UNT.
Thank you.
In addition to golf, there are many extracurricular activities available to students at Prosper High School. Case Spears highlights the PHS Color Guard team and the experience it offers participants.
Last weekend, the PHS varsity color guard team competed virtually in the Winter Guard International Tournament for dance semifinals. The color guard team advanced to state while competing in the competition. The team's advancement marked the first time the color guard team has made it to the finals in the National Winter Guard circuit in Prosper High School history. Despite this year's competition season looking different due to COVID restrictions, the varsity color guard team was able to perform moving forward. Team's hard work and everything they have spent the last couple of years preparing for paid off in the third round of the competition that sent them to the finals. Due to COVID restrictions, the competition looks slightly different this year. The color guard team recorded the performances and submitted the videos to the local and national circuit for judging. These videos were then judged and streamed through the circuits on a weekly basis. The color guard team has spent their season preparing to compete at the nationally recognized competition, marking their success as a major achievement for the varsity team. From Eagle Nation News, I'm Case Spears.
That's all we have for you today, Eagle Nation. I'm Allison Wood.
And I'm Mithra Kama. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.